Okay, everyone, good afternoon. I hope all of you can hear me. And so, first and foremost, I had planned to do the assignment today, but because they have scheduled an online session, I have postponed it to next week. I believe all of you received the message. So, next week, of course, you will be having a physical session. So, during the physical session, I will be taking the said assignment, right? And the other thing that I want to inform you is that students, now you will have a presentation as well, okay, which will be your last assignment. And that presentation will be, I will let you know what it is going to be about. So I will group you into a few groups, and then each group will have to do a presentation on the scenario that I give you, right? So now, as I am supposed to complete my sessions by the 10th week, right? As I'm given 10 weeks, we will see about the feasibility of completing that assignment as well by the third week of July, right? That means now next week, once I take your assignments, I will be assigning you into groups. So in the groups, you will be discussing as to how you will be going to do the presentation. And the week after, you will be doing the presentations, right? So today I will be completing all the lessons that I'm supposed to do with you, except for some business writing lessons. But all the other the lessons that are based on improving your soft skills and all that, I will be completing them today, right? There will be a few more, there will be few more lessons, few more in the sense like one lesson based on business writing. Other than that, today I'm planning to complete everything with you so that we can focus on the assignments that we have to complete, and also the revision session, right? We'll see how it goes. So I think we are good to start. Mm. I hope all of you can hear me, right? So as meant, yeah,
Madam,
Jaisinha, were you trying?
good
Yeah,
afternoon, madam.
yeah. Good
One question.
afternoon.
We are original online students, madam. So
Yes, that's right.
next week we can do our presentation as through online. No, madam. It's fine, right?
Yes. For online students, what you have to do is you will have to switch on your camera, and then you have to speak about a topic that I give you, right? You have to switch on your camera, and then the others in the class will also see you, but it's not a problem. Or else, I can take it from my laptop, and then while the others discuss about their presentations, I can take you, right? Not a problem at all. And even when you are doing the presentation group wise, I will be grouping you into groups, the online students. So for you, you will be doing an online presentation. Okay, you will get together, and you will have to turn on your cameras, and then you can share your PPTs, and then you can do the presentation accordingly, right? That is how I have planned to do the assignments. And also, we have done the CV writing assignment. So I will be returning those answer scripts to you uh, by next week. Even for online students, I will be returning those answer scripts to you by next week. So then you can do the amendments and upload the amended template to the LMS. And the students who are joining physically, the students who attend classes physically, they can bring the printed copy of their uh, CV, right? On the last day of your uh, what is this, on the last day of your lectures, right? So I'm not quite sure whether I'll be able to, take another extra session. If possible, I'm not available on the 27th of July, but maybe afterwards, right? The week after, if I'm able to take a session, we'll see, so that we can, discuss things further. But if not, we will have to wind up everything by, let me tell you the date, by 20th of July, right? By 20th of July, I will have to wind up everything. Therefore, it's going to be a rush time, but then please make sure that you complete your assignments. Okay? Right. So with that, I believe all of you can see the screen that I have shared over here. So this is the last topic that we have under soft skills for you, idea generation and creativity, right? A very interesting topic, students, and also interesting topic, and also a very informative topic. I would say an insightful topic, right? So let's see what we have in this lesson for you, right? So, at the end of this session, you should be able to demonstrate the ability to generate ideas without framing the mind. That means out of the box thinking. So, from this lesson, I will be explaining to you as to how you could improve your out of the box thinking, right? Without framing yourself inside a box or into a box, how would you think out of the box, right? Which is very important. So identify the techniques in idea generation. What are the techniques that you can follow when it comes to idea generation? How this idea generation can be done? So I will be focusing on that as well. And finally, exhibit the ability in screening different ideas to generate creative outcomes. How would you use your ability to generate ideas in order for creative outcomes to happen, right? So these are the areas that I will be discussing here today with you. uh, I think something went wrong. Just give me 1 minute, okay? I will have to change my connection. I think you did not hear me, right? I was not clear to you, right? Can you
No,
hear
it's
me
okay, man.
now?
Yes, man, we can hear you. Not, but we cannot see the screen.
Yeah, I stopped sharing the screen. Just give me a minute, okay? I have to change the connection. Something is happening. Right. So this is the introduction, okay? So here, in today's fast changing world, creativity and innovation are critical to solving problems and achieving success in various fields. Now, students, remember when you are working at a company or when you are working for an organization, right? Sometimes you may have come across the saying, this is how things have been doing, so we don't have to change how things have been happening. Well, remember, you don't you don't really need to follow the things that people have been following for very long years if it is not suitable in the present. Okay, and if you feel that this way of working or this way of handling this task is really not appropriate to the current situations or to the current scenarios that you go through in your work life, so then you are always given the freedom to change it, right? So that is what we call thinking out of the box. Always try to think out of the box without framing yourself inside a box. Okay, so what we really encourage in today's world is creativity and innovation. We need people who think creatively. We need innovative minds of people in order to grow, right? There will be no growth if there's no creativity or innovation. That is what you have to understand. හැමදාම කරගෙන ආපු එක ඒ විදිහටම කරන එක නෙමෙයි growth කියලා කියන්නේ. In order for you to grow, in order for your company to grow, in order for systems and everything to grow, creativity and innovation should be there, right? Unless creativity and innovation is present, you cannot expect a growth. Okay, it could be personal or professional. A growth will not take place if creativity and innovation does not happen, right? So to be effective problem solvers and decision makers, individuals must develop the ability to think creatively, generate new ideas, and critically assess those ideas. අපි ක්‍රියේටිව්ලි හිතනවා වගේම අලුත් අදහස් ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා වගේම ඒ වගේ හරි වැරදි කියන එකත් බලන්න ඕනේ. Just because you feel like implementing something creative, it doesn't mean that it is always right. So you should have the ability to critically assess those ideas as well. හිතපු පමණින් හිතපු සැනින් ඒක implement කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා අපිට කියන්න බෑ, right? So you have to have the critical mindset. You have to have the problem solving and decision making mindset in order to implement the creative and innovative ideas that you come with. Okay, so this set of skills is essential not only in professional environments but also in personal development. Always remember, students, it's very important that while you are growing professionally, you have to develop your personal growth as well. You have to spend time developing yourself as well. Now, for an example, sometimes when you go for good jobs, when you go for good positions, sometimes you may forget about your personal development. Sometimes you may neglect your studies. Sometimes you may neglect your family. You may neglect your relationships. Well, that is not what we encourage at present. While you are developing professionally, please make sure that you encourage your personal development as well, that you work for your personal development as well. Okay, so in order for both things to happen together, you should think out of the box. Okay, you have to think out of the box. So then, out of the box thinking. This is the first topic that I will be handling with you today. What is out of the box thinking? What do you mean by out of the box thinking? Out of the box thinking refers to approaching problems or tasks in a non-traditional or unconventional manner. හැමෝම කරගෙන ආපු traditional විදිහට නෙමෙයි. පොඩක් වෙනස් විදිහට ඔයා කරලා බලනවා. right? Out of the box thinking refers to approaching problems or tasks in a non traditional or unconventional manner, right? That means thinking differently. Okay, it involves breaking away from the usual constraints and assumptions and seeing the problem from different perspectives. කවුරු හරි වැඩ කරන තැන එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි හිතමු වෙන ඕනම තැනකදී කවුරු හරි ඔයාට කියනවා නම් ඔයා මොකක්ම හරි change එකක් implement කරන්න හදනකොට ඔහොම නෙමෙයි අපි කරගෙන ආවේ මේ විදිහට තමයි අරයත් කරේ මේ විදිහට තමයි මෙයත් කරේ ඒ හින්දා අපි මෙහෙම කරමු. No, that is not how things should be. You have to think whether what they have done is right or wrong. If you feel what they have done is not quite appropriate to the current scenario, then think out of the box and find a solution to it, right? Just because people have been doing it for years and years, it doesn't mean that you have to follow the same procedure. But remember, when you take such steps, you are facing lot of risks. You have to be ready to face such risks as well. Do you understand? So this method encourages creativity, flexibility, and finding solutions that might not be immediately apparent. Remember, if you are a person who is always flexible for out of the box thinking, you will have to be creative, right? You have to be flexible. Why? Because some people may not agree with you. Some people may always bring problems to you. So you have to be flexible, and you have to be a person who is always open for finding solutions for the issues that come to you. Do you understand? So remember, out of the box thinking is not easy, but once you implement it, it's going to make things easy, right? Okay. Next one. Key characteristics of out of the box thinking. First one is creativity. So if you want to become a person who encourages out of the box thinking, first one is creativity. Thinking beyond the obvious and traditional solutions. හැමදාම දෙන solution එක දෙමේ. Obvious solution එක නෙමේ. පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස් විදිහට හිතන කෙනෙක්. Creatively හිතන කෙනෙක් වෙන්න ඕනේ. Right? Flexibility. Adapting your thinking to various scenarios and approaches. So you have to understand that when you do something different, you have to be flexible and you have to be open for criticism, right? Because criticism is something that will come to you in the very next second that you do something out of the box, right? So you have to be flexible. Take everything as constructive feedback. What do you mean by constructive feedback? Feedback that comes to you in order to help you, or in order for you to understand where you should improve, right? Risk taking, being open to exploring unknown or unconventional ideas. So you have to be a risk taker, right? You have to be very open to take risks. Breaking boundaries, moving beyond limitations and fixed structures to explore new possibilities. So you are going to be somebody who breaks boundaries. Okay, so moving beyond limitations. When people have put you under limitations, and if you are a person who is thinking out of the box, so you should be someone who go beyond your limitations in order to do something better. Okay, out of the box thinking කියන්නේ තියෙන තත්ත්වයෙන් පහළට එන දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. You are doing things for them to be better, right? Okay, so these are some of the characteristics of out of the box thinking: creativity, flexibility, risk taking, and breaking boundaries. Next one, how to encourage out of the box thinking. How are we going to encourage this one? Suspend judgment. What do you mean? Suspend, what do you mean by suspend? Suspend means remove judgment. Don't judge things very easily. There are people that we we meet who are very judgmental. Api vachanayak kiwat, they start judging us, when we give our opinions, they start judging us. So you should be a person who suspend judgment. Don't reject ideas too quickly. Even strange or wild ideas might lead to innovations. Sometimes now, after some time, your juniors may come up with different ideas, right? Very innovative ideas. But as a senior, if you always suspend or if you always reject their opinions, what happens is that you are not a person who encourage out of the box thinking. Always welcome their ideas, and it's up to you to decide whether to proceed with those suggestions, improvements or not. Ideas accept කරපු පමණින් අපි ඒව follow කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා එකක් නෑ, but be a person who does not reject ideas of other people too quickly. අහපු ගමන් අපෝ එපා කියන කෙනෙක් වෙන්න එපා. Always be a person who listens to them, right? And then change perspective. Look at problems from different angles. Now, most of the time we look at a problem in only one way. Then අපි හිතමු, okay, let's take the worst scenario that can happen to a person in the professional context is losing a job, right? So when you lose a job, students, don't think, okay, my life is going to end, I will not find my wages to supply meals to my family, I'm the breadwinner of the family, and what am I going to do next? No, take it as a blessing to your life and then think what you are going to do next. වෙච්ච දේ ගැන හිතලා worry වෙලා වැඩක් නැහැ. හැමතිස්සෙම change your perspective to positivity and look at the problems in different angles. See what can you do after losing your job. See what can you do after facing the worst situation in your life. Think what to do next rather than thinking about what has happened to you. වෙච්ච දේ ගැන හිතලා වැඩක් නැහැ. What you have to do is you have to think what you are going to do in the future. So change your perspective. Look at problems from different angles. If I do this, it will lead to this after some time. But if I do things like this, it will be better. Likewise, you should be a person who has different perspectives. Create a supportive environment. If you are encouraging out of the box thinking, always you have to create a supportive environment. Ensure that all ideas are welcomed without fear of criticism. හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න, ඔයා හැමතිස්සෙම criticize කරන්න නැතුව අනික් කෙනාගේ ideas welcome කරන කෙනෙක් වෙනවා කියන එක, right? Because criticism is not what we want when it comes to out of the box thinking. Sometimes those ideas could be irrelevant, uh, not suitable, okay, cannot be applied at the current situation. But then don't criticize them. Create a very supportive environment where all the ideas and opinions of other people are welcomed. Okay, right. Next one. Okay, you have actually this is not a very long lesson, students, right? So it's a very short lesson, but then again I have a video for you. Let's have a look at this one. Hold on. Okay, let's watch this now. Yeah. So now, there, students, what did he say? Now, actually, if you were listening carefully to his presentation, right? First and foremost, he said that Thinking out of the box is a necessity. It is not a luxury, but it is a necessity. Why is it a necessity? Because, as I explained to you, for the growth of your professional life, of your personal life, that is a necessity. It is a must to happen, right? And the other thing is that he mentions, I don't know the other one, whether you noticed it or not. Did you see a picture of goldfish, right? So there were few goldfish swimming towards one direction, and there was one goldfish swimming towards the opposite direction. What does that mean? Actually, that picture itself tells us what is out of the box thinking, right? So, out of the box thinking is not an easy task. Why? Because many people are forced to do something while you think of changing that way of doing, right? So, it's not easy. You have to be a person who takes the risks, but then again, you have to be someone who is responsible in order to create an environment that facilitates out of the box thinking, right? Even he mentions that out of the box thinking will never happen if the environment does not encourage that concept. That means if the environment does not accept out of the box thinking, if the working environment or your personal life, if it does not accept the change, then of course you will not do it. You have to make sure that the environment is positive, or the environment accepts this out of the box thinking concepts, and you have to make sure that you are a person who encourages out of the box thinking, right? Actually, it is a very insightful presentation. If you have time, I kindly request you to watch this with subtitles, because if you feel understanding this, his accent is a bit difficult, of course you can watch that with subtitles, and then you will get a very good understanding about what this out of the box thinking is, right? Okay, with that, students, I'm going to our second topic, idea generation and techniques, right? So when it comes to idea generation and techniques, what is idea generation, by the way? Idea generation is the process of coming up with a range of ideas or solutions for a given problem or opportunity. That is, a problem or an opportunity is given to you. But if you are a person who always practice coming up with range of ideas, not only one idea or range of ideas or solutions, that is what we mean by idea generation. So it is a fundamental part of creative problem solving and innovation, just like we discussed about out of the box thinking, right? The goal is to create pool of ideas that can be later evaluated and developed further. So here we welcome a wide range of ideas and solutions. Once those solutions and ideas are brought to us, what do? We engage in filtering and then selecting the most appropriate solution for the given scenario, right? Or the particular scenario. So here, techniques for idea generation. First one, these are some of the techniques. Brainstorming, a group of activity where participants are encouraged to come up with as many ideas as possible without worrying about feasibility or practicality initially. So initially, rather than thinking about the feasibility or the practicality, people are encouraged to come up with different ideas and solutions for a given scenario. For an example, no criticism of ideas, right? Nobody is going to criticize any of the ideas, because if you can remember in the video, that presenter explained that out of the box thinking, okay, is when a person thinks out of the box, you cannot say that anything is wrong. Everything is creative and everything has a different perspective. Therefore, no answer is wrong. All the answers are acceptable, and all the answers are correct. Right? So, here the first rule when it comes to brainstorming is no criticism of ideas. You are not criticizing the ideas of others. Encourage wild ideas. What do you mean by wild ideas here? Wild ideas means the ideas that have never been applied before. කවදාවත් ඒ වගේ සිටුේෂන් එකකට ඇප්ලයි කරලා නැති ideas වලට encourage කරන්න. Right? Do that. Build on others' ideas. So you may have your own ideas. Make sure to incorporate your ideas with others' ideas as well. ඔයාගේ ideas විතරක්ම encourage කරන කෙනෙක් වෙන්න එපා. Incorporate your ideas and others' ideas and then come to a solution or an idea. Aim for quantity over quality at the start. Rather than thinking of the quality at the very beginning, always go for quantity. Later on, you can think of quality. Towards the end, once you go through the filtering process, then you can come to the quality. You can think of the quality of your idea, but then at first, always go for quantity, right? Second one is mind mapping. Definition. What is the definition of mind mapping? Sorry. A visual tool used to organize and connect ideas. Actually, you cannot see that map, but what you do is you visualize that map. Okay, you visualize how that happens. Start with a central concept in the middle or branch out with related ideas, concepts, and solution. Now, for an example, you have one issue or a problem. And then what you have to do is you have to branch out different solutions for the given problem. That is how the idea is generated for that particular problem, right? Purpose helps to organize thoughts and see the relationships between different ideas. So, when you connect those ideas in mind mapping, you will understand that some of the solutions, some of the ideas are interconnected or can be connected to one another. So, that is why it will help to organize thoughts and see the relationships between different ideas. Okay, you will see, okay, now this idea brought up by this person has a connection to the idea brought up by the other person. පොඩි වෙනසයි ඒ දෙන්නගේ ideas දෙකේ තියෙන. So then you can interconnect them, right? So then you will see the relationship when you go for mind mapping, right? Next one is the scamper technique. Well, this is a very famous technique that many people follow when it comes to idea generation. If you type scamper technique in YouTube, students, you will find so many videos about this technique, right? Even online, you can read many many articles about this camper technique. So a checklist tool to prompt creative thinking by altering existing products or ideas. So it's a checklist tool, right? That will promote creative thinking. So scamper stands for substitute. S stands for substitute. What can you substitute to improve the idea? Substitute කියන්නේ එක දෙයක් වෙනුවට තව දෙයක් දාලා කොහොමද ඒ අයිඩියා එක ඉම්ප්‍රූව් කරන්න? දැන් එක අයිඩියා එකක් තියෙනවා, නමුත් ඒ අයිඩියා එක වෙනුවට තව වෙනස් අයිඩියා එකක් දාලා ඒක කොහොමද concept එක develop කරන්නේ? So substituting. Combining. So in mind mapping, what did we do? We combined different ideas of different people and we came into a conclusion. Combine. What can you combine to create something new? A. Adapt. So adaptability, whether you are able to adapt according to the solution that you have found out. What can you adapt to enhance the idea? මොන වගේ adaptabilities ද කරන්න ඕනේ දැන් මේ තියෙන idea එක put into action, right? Modify. What can you modify to make it better? Now see, idea generation is not an easy task, right? Now some people, they think, okay, just if I think of something creative, I can put this into action. No, that is not possible. There are so many steps that you have to go through, right? So adapt, modify. What can you modify to make it better? What are the changes that you need to do in order to make the decision better? Put to another use. Can the idea be used in another way? Right? Can you use the same idea to a different scenario, or can you use it in another way? Eliminate. What can you eliminate to simplify or improve? So when you take ideas of different people at different levels, so there could be ideas that needs to be eliminated. So you have to make sure those ideas are silently eliminated. It's not a problem, no issue. Why? Because you are collecting towards the end of the process, you are focusing on quality rather than quantity. So you can silently eliminate those ideas and take the ideas that are relevant or applicable to the scenario. Rearrange. What can you rearrange to create better solutions? So if you feel the first step should be this and the next step should be this, of course you have the full freedom to rearrange the procedure. So read, I actually suggest you to read about the scamper technique. It will give you more information about this, which is a very good way to follow idea generation, right? And then third one, idea screening and evaluation. What is this? What do you mean by idea screening and evaluation? What is screening? Idea screening is the process of evaluating and selecting ideas that have the potential to succeed and addressing those that might not be practical or feasible. අර ඔක්කොම ideas ටික අපි එකතු කරගත්තට පස්සේ ඒ වගේ eliminate කරන්න ඕන ටිකක් තියෙනවා. How are we going to eliminate them? We are going to eliminate them by idea screening. That is what we mean by idea screening. You are screening them and you understand that those are the areas that should be eliminated. Idea screening is the process of evaluating and selecting ideas that have the potential to succeed. Selecting the ideas that have the potential to win and addressing those that might not be practical or feasible. ඇයි මේවා මේ අවස්ථාවේදී practical නැත්තේ මේ සඳහා යොදවන්න කියන එක ඕගොල්ලෝ decide කරන්න ඕනේ, right? You are not just going to throw them aside, right? Think why this cannot be applied right now. මොකද ඒකත් කෙනෙක්ගේ idea එකක්නේ. Why this cannot be applied right now? You have to think of that. The goal is to narrow down the pool of generated ideas to the most promising ones that align with objectives, resources and constraints. ඔය ඒකනේ ළමයි අපි හැමතිස්සෙම meetings ගන්නවා කියලා කරන සමහර වෙලාවට ඉතින් meetings වල මහ ලොකු දේවල් වෙන්නේ නැහැ, but most of the time in meetings what do? We create a pool of ideas. Suppose that you are to organize an event or something, the first thing that you do is you take a meeting, right? By taking a meeting, what do? You create a pool of ideas, and then what you do is that you see whether those ideas are applicable or not through idea screening, and then you apply them. Okay? ඕගොල්ලෝ නොදැනුවත්වම අර ස්කැම්පර් මෙතඩ් එක ෆලෝ කරලා තියෙන්න පුළුවන් සමහර situations වලදී. But now from today onwards you know how theoretically that can be applied, right? You know the concept behind this idea generation and idea screening. The goal is to narrow down the pool of generated ideas. So quantity over quality. Now it's going to be quality, right? Now we are screening everything. Ideas to the most promising ones that align with objectives, resources and constraints. සමහර විට සමහර ideas තියෙන resources එක apply කරන්න බෑ. Resources මදි ඒ දීලා තියෙන ideas ටික මේ put into action, right? It's difficult to put into action because of the lack of resources. So with all that, you think what are the ideas that can be put into action. Okay? And then Techniques for idea screening, feasibility analysis. So here actually I have taken some of the methods that you can follow, and also some of the methods that you are very familiar with, right? Now, feasibility analysis, you are very familiar with feasibility analysis, SWOT analysis, all of you know what that is, right? So here, feasibility analysis, evaluate whether the idea is feasible in terms of resources, time, cost, and technical capacity. බලන්න resources එක idea එක මේ ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා. Time duration, cost and technical capacity. Consider constraints such as budget, expertise and market conditions. Sometimes the market conditions do not go with the ideas that have been proposed. So then you will have to screen them out. What about the SWOT analysis? Strengths. What are the strengths of the idea? Hmm? Weaknesses. What are the potential weaknesses or risks? Opportunities. What opportunities does the idea present? And finally, threats. What external factors might threaten the success of the idea? Those methods should be followed when you are screening the ideas, right? Those techniques should be followed. Next one, cost benefit analysis. So here, compare the potential costs and benefits of implementing the idea. Evaluate whether the benefits outweigh the costs. That means benefits are more than the costs. And if the idea is worth pursuing, if the benefits are more than the cost, then of course you can pursue with that idea. But if the cost is higher than the benefit, then of course you will have to rethink about it, right? Cost benefit analysis. Think of the cost and then the benefit, right? Finally, prototyping and testing. I think it's final. So, prototyping and testing. Create small scale prototypes or mock ups to test the feasibility and desirability of the idea. Before you put that idea into action, just go through some mock ups, right? Maybe go through some mock tests and see whether it is applicable. First, you have to go through testing. එක පාරට idea එකක් ආවා කියලා ඒක filter කරලා ගත්ත කියලා you can't put that into action. You have to go through testing and then only you can implement it, right? Create small scale prototypes or mock-ups to test the feasibility and desirability of the idea. That is what these most of the customer based companies do, right? When they launch a product, what do, students? They first go through a testing session, right? Sometimes they give a free they give their products free. Okay, free giveaways are arranged. Okay, or else if it is a food or a food item, sometimes they can ask the customers to taste and give their comment on the taste. Likewise, you have to first go through testing, and then only you can take the implementation, go to the implementation stage. Collect feedback from target audiences and refine the idea based on testing results. Based on testing results, once again, you will have to refine your idea, and then only you can take the next step. And then, okay, so those are the areas that I will be discussing with you under techniques of idea screen. Now, first and foremost, let's go to the very beginning of what we were doing today. As I told you, this is not a very long lesson, but then again, I think it's interesting, right? Okay. So our topic today is about idea generation and creativity. And here we discuss about out of the box thinking, right? So there we discuss what out of the box thinking is and the key characteristics of out of the box thinking, like creativity, flexibility, risk taking, and breaking boundaries. How to encourage out of the box thinking? by suspending judgment, changing perspectives, and also creating a supportive environment. And then, when it comes to idea generation and techniques, what is idea generation? So, idea generation is the process of coming up with a range of ideas or solutions for a given problem or opportunity. And then, what are some of the techniques to follow idea generation? Brainstorming, mind mapping, and scamper technique. When it comes to idea screening and evaluation, idea screening means the process of evaluating and selecting ideas that have the potential to succeed and addressing those that might not be practical or feasible, right? So, filtering out is what we mean by screening. What are some of the techniques for idea screening? Feasibility analysis, SWOT analysis, cost benefit analysis, and the prototyping and testing, right? So that's all you will have to learn under this topic, students. So here, um, okay, no, not that. Here, I have given you a picture. Let me show that to you, right? Now, I want you to give your opinion on the given two pictures, picture 1 and picture 2. I don't want you to explain what the picture is about. I want you to give your opinion about the picture that I have given here. Picture 1 and 2. I will give you about 2 minutes, right? Think what these pictures are about. What message do they give you, right? I actually want to know about the message. How would you interpret this picture? Your interpretation is what I want. I'll give you about 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, I kindly request you to tell me what your opinion about the picture, right? Not only one picture, both pictures, picture 1 and picture 2.
Excuse me, madam, did you share the picture?
Yeah, you can't see?
Oh,
Oh, I'm
madam.
so sorry about it. I thought you all were looking at the picture. I'm sorry. None of you told me. You just kept quiet. Thank you,
We are
Hassan,
looking
for
at you,
that.
madam.
Ah, okay. Now you can look at the picture. Ah, I'll give you 2 minutes. After that, just one sentence for picture one and one sentence for picture two. That's all. Okay, good. What can you say about the first picture? Anyone? Any volunteers? Yeah, what is your opinion about the first picture? Can you tell me? Shehan, what do you think about the first picture? Hmm? Shehan, have you fallen asleep? Oh, nanny. Must have fallen asleep. Then, uh, anybody else? Sadev, what do you think about the first picture?
It shows
Hmm?
about the mother's love.
Okay, mother's love, and more than that, what can you say about it? More than the love, like, how can you interpret how can you interpret that action?
It's like the kindness towards the child. Even if she doesn't have anything, she would always provide it for the child.
Okay, but still, I did not get the right word for it. Anyone else? Akif, what do you think? Yeah, Akif, are you there? No? Then is Liloshan here? Come on,
So the mother guides the child.
guides. Um, okay,
Madam, parent
guiding.
can develop their kids.
How is she trying to develop, or rather, how is
Mother
she trying to?
sacrifice her happiness to her
Exactly,
child.
that's the right word. Sacrificing, right? Can you see she removes or she's removing her feathers in order to give those feathers to her child, right? So, what is that? Sacrificing her freedom, like Normally, we refer to wings and all that to freedom, right? So her freedom, maybe whatever she has had, is given to the child in order for him or her to see the world, right? Sacrificing what she has for the child to have a better life. Isn't it? Isn't that what the picture tells us? How
Yes, madam.
about the other? Yes, that's right. How about the other picture? Imasha, I'm coming to my girls now because my boys are not responding. Huh? Imasha, what do you think about the second picture? Or Chamudini, what do you think about the second picture? Yeah? Mm? Yashmini, how about you? Any idea? Girls, nobody is here in the meeting. Hmm? Very nice. I'll catch you next week. Then Lakshi and them, they are not here. Anybody who is willing to give an opinion about the picture? What do you think?
The kid creates his own cage because of the technology.
That's right. And what do you think about the bird outside?
They enjoy their freedom, maybe.
Actually, in real life, normally, right, we normally cage the bird, and then, we are we have more freedom than them. But then, as a result of this technology or the technological advancements, what has happened to us? We have caged ourselves while the animals spend a more free life than us, isn't it? The bird is looking, I mean, the bird looks at the boy in a very surprised manner because it is the bird who should be in the cage. But then what has happened is that the boy is in the cage, right? We ourselves have replaced us in the cage, uh, while the animals have more freedom than us. Okay, so here idea generation is what I wanted from your end. I wanted you to give new ideas or new interpretations for the two pictures that I have given here, right? Then, of course, actually, I have here another group work, but then I don't think I will be able to do that now because this is a virtual class and many of you are not in the meeting, I suppose. Huh? Okay, with that, students, I'm coming to an end with today's topic, which is idea generation and creativity. So, I'm going to give you a short break now. After that, I'm going to start short business report writing. So, your next assignment, right? That means your last assignment will be based on business report writing. Okay, so we'll take about 15 minutes break and then we'll start that lesson. Okay, right. Okay. Right. So have you scanned the QR code? Are we good to start the session? Can I stop sharing the screen and then can we go to the next lesson? Right? Okay, students. So I'll share this again if you want, but I believe almost all of you might have scanned the QR code, right? Okay. Now we are going to the next session, which is writing a short business report, right? So now in your presentation, what I expect you to do is first you have to do a presentation on the scenario that I give you. And based on that scenario, you will have to prepare a report, right? There are two activities that you will have to do. First, doing the presentation and then preparing the report. Okay. So on the day that you do the presentation, you have to bring your report as well. Do you understand? So here, now let me take an introduction to the session that the afternoon session. So here, by the end of this session, you should be able to structure and write an effective business report. So by the end of this session, you will get an understanding about the components of a report and what are the what is the use of writing a report and why do we write a report, all that you will get a clear understanding of that, right? A business report is a formal document that provides information, analysis, and recommendations for decision making, right? So now here, by looking at this explanation, you will get an understanding about what is a business report, situation. And finally, you have to provide recommendations for further decision making. So when you are drafting a report, all these three areas should be addressed, right? It is used for internal and external communication, both. Common types of reports are informational reports, where you will have to give status updates and progress reports, analytical reports, feasibility reports and research reports, and at the same time, you will have proposal reports, where you will be proposing about future business plans and funding proposals. We call them proposals. So, from business report writing, I will be uh, explaining to you as to how these reports could be written, right? I will be giving you a general understanding about this short business report writing. Structure of a short business report. What is the structure? First and foremost, you should have a report title. Title එකක් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම තියෙන්න ඕනේ ඔයාගේ business report එකට. Right? And then the introduction should be there. That means in the introduction, what are you going to explain? You will have to explain about purpose of the report. Why are you writing this report? For which purpose are you writing this report? That should be included in the introduction. For an example, you can say the purpose of writing this report is to. Likewise, you can explain, right? And then in the introduction, you have to give a little bit of a background or context to the relevant scenario and the company, right? That the company or the organization that you are referring to, give a short background to it and also short context to the scenario that you are dealing with. And then scope of the report, what is covered, what are you going to cover from your report should also be included in the introduction. So what are the three areas? Purpose of the report, background and the context of the scenario or the situation, and then scope of the report where you will be explaining what is covered from your report. And then in the third section, it's going to be the findings. Findings in the sense, students, you can come up with different subheadings in order to cover your findings. In order to explain your findings, you can come up with subheadings. Facts and analysis of data, avoiding personal opinion. Now, when you are coming up with your findings, always avoid personal opinions. Why? Because here you are elaborating on the things that you have found out when you were executing the methodology, or when you were executing the process of collecting data, right? So in the findings, you are not going to include your personal opinions. But then here, under recommendations, what are you going to include? You will have to include observations and specific actionable suggestions, right? Observations, even in recommendations, you can include your personal opinions as well, right? Why you recommend this can be given as a personal opinion. And also specific actionable suggestions. Don't give suggestions that cannot be put into action. Now, if you take a medium size uh, organization, right, you have to give suggestions that can be put into action by that organization, right? So those suggestions can be included in the recommendation section. So when you take a short business report, first you should have the title, then the introduction, then the findings. So findings can go up to 3 to 4 headings, subheadings, and then the recommendations are needed, right? Writing style. Now here also I'm going to quickly take you through the way how this writing style should be there. I have explained this to you before as well, but then I thought of quickly taking you through this formal writing. So clarity and conciseness. Your answer, your report should be clear for all the readers to understand. And then the conciseness means it should be to the point. We do not need uh, uh, unnecessary explanations. Always make sure that your explanation is to the point, right? And it is not very descriptive. Formal and professional tone. This is a must. Avoid slang and overly casual language, right? Do not use overly casual language. For an example, uh, uh, the organization is gonna take this decision, something like that, right? Very casual language and slang. Do not use first person pronouns. For an example, you can say, I have conducted this uh, I have conducted this survey. Likewise, no, you are not using the first person pronouns like I, me, my, we, and us, right? Because if you use this first person pronouns, it means that you are making your writing very subjective. When it comes to formal writings, we avoid subjective writing, right? Therefore, try to avoid the first person pronouns as much as possible. Using these expressions in analytical and persuasive essays can make the writing wordy, can make the writer seem less confident of his or her ideas. When you make your writing subjective, it shows that you are not very much confident about your findings. Therefore, please make sure that you avoid your first person pronouns as much as possible and can give the essay an informal tone. Use of first person pronouns is unnecessary in the kinds of essays you are writing for the course. So, for this course, you don't have to really focus on uh, using first person pronouns. Readers will know what they are reading and your thoughts, beliefs, or opinions. So, you do not need to state, I think that, I believe that, in my opinion. Simply delete these expressions from sentences and you will be left with stronger sentences. So, I believe, in my opinion, it's just your opinion. We don't want your opinion here. We want a very general opinion. Okay. So, for an example, you can say, rather than saying, I think that this character is confused, you can say, this character is confused. Simple, less wordy, right? It sounds more formal and then it gives a very confident tone. rather than saying I think, mama hitanawa, mama hitanne කියනවට වැඩිය, when you say this character is confused, the tone is more confident, right? So, um, one, the reader, readers, the viewer, or something similar sometimes can be used effectively in place of first person pronouns. Instead of using I, you can say uh, the writer, or then if you say you, so you can say the reader. Instead of you can say the reader, first person pronouns in formal papers. But be careful not to overuse these expressions as well. Even those expressions you are not encouraged to overuse, right? For an example, I can sense the character's confusion. Rather than saying, I can sense the character's confusion, you can simply say, readers can sense the character's confusion. Okay. And the other thing is avoid addressing readers as you. This is very important. I think I explained this to you previously as well. Do not address readers as you. For an example, addressing readers using the second person pronouns you, your can make an essay sound informal and can bring assumptions into an essay that are not true, right? Informal is using you. When you analyze the balance sheet, you will notice that liabilities have increased significantly this quarter. No, you don't have to say you there, right? How can you rewrite it? By omitting the second person. When the reader analyzes the balance sheet, it becomes apparent that liabilities have increased significantly this quarter. Or else you can say, when analyzing the balance sheet, it becomes apparent that liabilities have increased significantly this quarter. Simple as that, right? Do not use first person or second person pronouns when you are writing a report. Third point is support with the data. When you are writing a report, students, we do not want your personal opinions, but data, evidence, proof, right? Use evidence rather than opinions. What are some of the useful phrases that you can use for business report writing? Here I have given some. When it comes to introducing the report, the aim or the purpose of this report is to examine, evaluate, describe, outline, assess, the positive and negative features of different forms of the various options open to people. Likewise, you can use these phrases. The aim of this report is to examine the positive and negative features of two different forms of whatever you can say, right? The purpose of this report is to describe the positive and negative features of two different forms of, you can go on, right? Or the following report describes or deals with, evaluates, outlines, presents, provides an account of. So these phrases you can use when it comes to writing a business report, the formal way of writing a report. Or else you can say this report aims to provide an overall overview of the situation below, or this report aims to provide an overall overview of the revenue growth of ABC company within the last 5 years, something like that, right? So it will also include, it will also consider, suggest, recommend. This report will recommend, okay, or this report recommends, these recommendations for further action. The report is based on a survey conducted among college students or a survey that is conducted among lecturers of different levels, likewise. So that those phrases you can use in the introduction. In the introduction, what are you going to include? You have to include the purpose of writing the report. You have to include background and context of the report. And what else? You have to include what the report covers from the, what details will the report cover throughout. And then when it comes to presenting facts, that means in the findings section, you can use these kind of phrases when you are presenting your data. It is generally accepted that the vast majority of the population agreed that they would prefer to work on weekends rather than weekdays as uh, part-time jobs. Okay, something like that. This is probably due to the fact that, so here you are presenting facts and then you are giving the opinion that this could be due to these data have been gathered or these data have been collected because of this reason. මේක තමයි හේතුව මේ ප්‍රමාණයකට මේ data එකතු වෙන්නේ. මේ වගේ ප්‍රතිශතයක් මේ ආන්සර් එකට එන්න මේක තමයි හේතුව කියන එක you can say. While although data is hard to come by, it is thought that likewise. And then when it comes to making recommendations, one measure which may improve the situation would be to introduce, right? So when you are making recommendations, you can say, okay, introducing these procedures to the company will improve the revenue in the upcoming year. I would strongly recommend that the company follow a strict list of rules and regulations in order to improve the student affairs, something like that. Okay. In the light of the results of the survey, I would strongly advise against. I feel it would be to our advantage if it might be advisable to, it might be preferable to. I have no hesitation in recommending. So when it comes to recommendation, students, of course, you can use phrases like, I have no hesitation in recommending, right? That is recommendation because here you are giving your recommendation. So which is very similar to your opinion. So then, of course, using the first person is quite okay, right? I am of the opinion that I feel it would be to our advantage if, in conclusion, on balance, or to sum up, it appears that, so it shows that, the results show that, something like that, right? So here making recommendations, presenting facts, and introducing the report. I have given you some of the useful phrases which you can use when you are writing the short business report. Okay. And then here I have given you a sample answer. Okay. Now in this sample answer, of course, the subheadings are not there, unfortunately. But then again, I have not given those subheadings because I want you to understand which areas come under those subheadings, right? Now I have given the title as Financial Analysis of Vaganza Private Limited. Okay, the financial analysis. Now what we are going to do is I will keep this for you to read and I will give you about 5 minutes to read what I have given here in the report, and we will discuss which points come under the introduction, which points can be included under the findings section, and which points can be included under the recommendation section, right? I will give you about 2 to 3 minutes. Can you please read what I have given here? Slowly read what I have given here and try to understand the content. Try to understand which sections come for the introduction, which sections come under the findings, and which sections come under the conclusion or the recommendation section. right? So now here, while explaining to you, I will highlight the most important sections, right? When you take this one, financial analysis of Vaganza Private Limited. What is this, students? This is the title. So when you are writing a report, the title is a must. Okay, the title is a must. And then come to the first paragraph. The Vaganza Private Limited is a reputed vehicle company that has been in the market since 1975 and has been very popular in the industry for its reliability and trustworthiness. Okay. With the growing market needs, it has been decided to expand its operations within the next 12 months by purchasing a new fleet of cars and jeeps.
Market need.
Yes, right? The purpose of this report is to evaluate the market conditions in which the company is intending to expand its operations. Now, when you look at this one, now what did I tell you about the introduction? Now, of course, by looking at the content given here, you should be able to understand what each and every line describes about in the first paragraph. Anyway, the first paragraph is the introduction, students, right? That is undoubtedly you have to understand. Okay, so if this is the intro, right? If this is the intro, let's analyze what details have been included in the introduction. Okay, now here the Vaganza Private Limited is a reputed vehicle company that has been in the market since 1975 and has been very popular in the industry for its reliability and trustworthiness. So what does this line explain to us about? It gives background of the company, isn't it? Background details of the company. Okay, so it has been in the market since 1975 and then it has been very popular in the industry for its reliability and trustworthiness. Okay, with the growing market needs, it has been decided to expand its operations within the next 12 months by purchasing a new fleet of cars and jeeps. Now, what have I explained there? I have explained what I will be dealing in the report throughout. Okay, now I am coming to my topic. After giving some background information to the organization or the company, now I'm coming to my topic, which is operations within the next 12 months by purchasing a new fleet of cars and jeeps. And then the purpose of this report is to evaluate the market conditions in which the company is intending to expand its operation. So, what have I explained here? I have explained the purpose of writing the report. Here I have given the introduction or the background information to the situation or the company, and then I have given here what I will be dealing with throughout the report, and then I have given the purpose of writing the report in the introduction. All three areas are covered. Okay, now here I have given a very short one. When you are writing a business report, you can just elaborate it further. Okay, I will anyway give you the what is this, the word limit, then you can limit your answer to that. But here actually I have given in very short, right? When you are writing your business report, you can elaborate on that. When examining the financial status of the company, its profitability and outflow. When examining the financial status of the company, its profitability and outflow must be secured, and analysis of these parameters will be more advisable. So, using these parameters are more advisable. Furthermore, useful internal financial indicators include the capital utilization ratio and the retained earnings figure. As per the analysis, it is evident that the company accounts are quite satisfactory in obtaining a fresh loan for the purchase of the new fleet of vehicles. Now, what have I explained there? I have explained the findings, right? As per the analysis. So, as per the analysis here means I am elaborating on the findings of mine. It is evident that the company accounts are quite satisfactory in obtaining a fresh loan. Now they are targeting to uh, uh, purchase new fleet of cars and jeeps. So according to the analysis, it is uh, evident that they can go for a fresh loan for the purchase of the new fleet of vehicles. And then when considering the risk factors, the company may face problems in an industry that is very competitive. Additionally, with the expansion, more provision of services and also increased maintenance costs and fuel will be high. So, the management capabilities to handle the extra business may become strenuous. Now, see, when I was bringing up my findings, okay, I did not just come up with the findings, or I did not just come up with the data. What did I do? I explained the reason behind this data. Now, here, as per the analysis. So, analysis is the base for these findings. When considering the risk factors, right? When considering the risk factors, these are the problems that this company may have to go through in the expansion. And therefore, it is inevitable to recruit more staff members for administration and services with the expansion of its operations island wide. So, what am I doing here? I am recommending. My recommendations are here. Okay. My recommendations are here. It is inevitable to recruit more staff members for administration and services with the expansion of its operations island wide. Considering the risk factors, it is important to assess the economic climate in which the company is operating before investing in a new asset and to look for more sources of financing. Once again, I'm giving another recommendation. The company may consider obtaining a loan as more appropriate, while the interest charges and other costs could be burden on the financial affairs of the business. So, while coming up with a general comment on the report and the findings that I have found out uh, from uh, uh, from investigating, here I have come up with a very short business report for you. Right now, when looking at these sections, you should be able to understand the sections that we discuss here are present, right? The report title, the introduction, the findings, of course, has gone for two paragraphs, and then the recommendations. Okay, I believe it is clear to you, right? Now, that is the very short business report that I have taken to explain this lesson to you. Now, what I am going to do is, right, now this is example one. Actually, you can read this and take this also as an example. I have another example for you, but this is given as an activity, a very easy activity. Don't think too much. Look at the table that I have given here. Okay. Keeping the data of the table in your mind, I want you to answer the blanks or fill the blanks by selecting the most appropriate word given in the blanks. There are, I think, 15 blanks here. I will slowly scroll down them with time. I will give you about 5 minutes. Can you please fill the blanks? I don't want you to write anything. If you want, you can take a screenshot of the photograph of the data or the table given here, because it is useful for you to write answers, the upcoming answers. Look at the table and select the most appropriate words for the blanks. Can you please do that? And then I will give you the answers. I'll give you 5 minutes. Okay. Now here in this example, once you fill the blanks and once your answer is complete, you will get another sample answer for report writing. Here, of course, the subheadings and everything is given, right? Okay. Try to write answers for this one. I will scroll down little by little, okay? last part, right? So when you complete this task, right, you will have another sample for report of a short business report. Okay. Right? Have you finished? I'll give you another 2 minutes. You can quickly clear it up. I'll show you from the very beginning, and then if you have missed any part, so you can just select the options and then fill it out. So, while you're answering this one, we have one more lesson to do, which is writing business portfolios, right? We will do that in one of the upcoming sessions. Also, I will upload some past papers for your reference. I will upload maybe one past paper for your reference, and then now I'm telling this because now we are winding up all the lessons that are uh, given to you. So go through the past paper and see how you will be tested at the examination, because the structure, the format is completely different when compared to the first year, right? Uh, we'll see. Okay. So for the writing section, you will get a question based on any business writing that we have done up to date, and also we have a business writing business profiles, so that also there we'll do that also. So report right now we have done report writing, and then interpretation of graphs and charts, okay, writing uh, business portfolios, okay. So yeah, you might get one question out of all those three, and then a general essay uh, to write your opinion, and an argumentative essay will be given as another option. So you have to be thorough with whatever that we have done up to now. Okay. Right. All right. Then the last part. All right. Done. Shall we look at the answers? Okay, students, shall we look at the answers? Good. කියලත් නැතුව ඇති ඉතින් සමහර විට ඔහි ඉන්න ඇති බලාගෙන. There were 32 students, now only 24. Okay. Shall we discuss the answers then? So these are the answers. Check whether your answers are the same when compared to what I have given here. So here, in the introduction, the aim of this report is to summarize points which have arisen from the recent staff survey about changes in working practices. Okay. Reasons for changes. Staff turnover represents a major cost in our company. So this is a company that goes through staff turnover a lot, right? Staff turnover represents a major cost in our company. It involves costly recruitment processes and staff training. We hope that by introducing these changes, we will increase staff retention, motivation, and efficiency. Then, opinions of staff. A large proportion of our staff ask for flexible working hours. Several people complained about their journey to work. They stated that they found commuting at peak time is stressful and time consuming. A significant number of employees, which means 29%, expressed that career breaks would be attractive. One member of staff explained to me that he had always wanted to travel around the world and that he would like to return to his job afterwards. A smaller percentage have requested optional part-time working. These are generally people with young children. Several employees have asked if we could provide their preschool children with on-site nursery care. In the light of the results of the survey, it is important to go ahead with these changes as the staff generally agree with them because employees can choose to take advantages of the changes or not. Okay, so these are the answers for the blanks that I have given for you. Now, I have another sample answer with a question. So, students, you will also get a similar, not a similar question. Actually, your question is going to be a little bit comprehensive than this one, a bit lengthier. But then again, here I have given you a question, right? What is the question? Let's first see that what that is. The manager is keen to introduce new practices into your company. He has asked you to write a report which includes details of two practices from another company which you would suggest adopting in your own company. Write a report for your manager including the following information. What are they? What you admire about the other company, which two of its practices you would adopt, and why your company would benefit from them. So you will get a similar question like this in order to do the presentation as well as to write the report. Okay, so I will be giving you a very general question where you can do, you can suggest and you can come up with any solutions that you like, right? Something similar to this one. However, it is, let's look at the sample answer here. Here, of course, the subheadings are not there, but when you are writing your report, you have to include your subheadings because I have taken this answer from a booklet, right? So here, report on the introduction of new practices. Now, when you look at this question, there are a few keywords that you need to highlight. What are they, students? So here, your manager is keen to introduce new practices into your company. So now this is about introducing new practices to your company. But how are you going to do that? He has asked you to write a report which includes details of two practices from another company. What you have to do is you have to look at another company and then decide what are the two best practices that they follow in order to, in order for their improvement, right? Which you would suggest adopting in your own company. You have to write a report, and in the report, you have to include what you admire about the other company. That part should be included. Then may deal bullet points you have to include in your answer when you are writing the answer, right? Which two of its practices you would adopt? What are the two best practices that you would adopt to your company? And why your company would benefit from them, how your company is going to benefit by adopting these two practices, right? Now, this is the answer. Let me enlarge it for you. Right. I'll give you 2 minutes. Please read what I have given here. Try to understand what I have given here. See what has been included in the introduction. See what has been included in the findings section and how this data is interpreted. Okay. And also, when you look at this answer, you will find uh, transitional words. Okay, the application of transitional words. If you can remember, I taught you them as well. All that is incorporated here. So when you are writing your answers, when you are writing your reports, please make sure to incorporate all that. Okay. Okay, shall we look at this answer? Now here, the title is Report on the Introduction of New Practices. So, I think that this title, we can make this title better by mentioning the name of the company. That means report on the introduction of new practices to Hinton First Hotel, right? Hinton First Hotel. Because then what happens is that students, you specify to which company that you are applying this report. Okay, which company is referred to from this report. Okay, so report on the introduction of new practices to the Hinton First Hotel. You can improve this title like that. The report sets out to describe the most attractive features of the Olive Garden chain restaurants, staff management policies, and to suggest introduction of several items into the restaurant department of the Hinton First Hotel. So the hotel that the writer of this report works for is Hinton First Hotel. He is adopting the two main practices from Olive Garden chain restaurants, right? So here in the introduction, he explains the purpose of writing the report and he gives a brief introduction to the name of the company and the company, right? And here also, it was found that one of the American chain restaurants is exposed to an exceptionally innovative management that has recently developed a new policy in order to maintain high standards in all aspects of the service provided to their guests. Okay, now once again, in that part also you can take that part as the introduction, although it goes to a next paragraph. That part also describes or gives background information to the uh, uh, organization that is being discussed here, right? So it says that the American chain restaurants, that means Olive Garden chain restaurants, is exposed to an exceptionally innovative management, right? That has recently developed a new policy in order to maintain high standards in all aspects of the service provided to their guests. It seems that two of its recently introduced practices may be well borrowed and implemented in our business. So now he is going to talk about the two practices that they are going to adopt from this particular chain of hotels, right? Firstly, all the waiting staff are exposed to a checkup before starting their lunch and dinner shifts so as to ensure maintenance of hygiene and compliance with the company's dress code. So, in order to follow the company's dress code and the maintenance of hygiene, first and foremost, they go through a checkup before starting their lunch and dinner shifts, right? So, that is the first practice that Hinton First Hotel is going to adopt. Second one, secondly, the evening briefings conducted on a regular basis in order to inform the staff about the basic changes in the menu and wine supplies have proved effective and therefore could be applied in our restaurant department as well. What is the second one? Briefings, right? Conducting regular briefings in order to inform the staff about the basic changes in the menu and the wine supplies, right? So the staff is updated about the changes every day when a briefing is conducted, right? And therefore could be applied in our restaurant department as well. Then it is clear that a successful introduction of the two procedures is sure to reflect on the quality of such service in issues of the waiting staff's better awareness and in an improvement in the hotel's image. So they think that by adopting these two procedures to their hotel, they are able to make themselves better, make themselves aware of uh, the procedures better, and also it will help to improve the image of the hotel, right? So actually students here, this is actually a very short business report, but when it comes to you writing your business report, I will give you the instructions and I will give you the word limit as well so that you can think how you are going to uh, allocate the number of words for each and every section, right? Okay, so that's all I have for this lesson, business report writing. We have about another 15 minutes. What can we do? We can do a small, maybe a listening task, if possible. Let me see. I think it's easy to do listening today because I have only to share the tape script. Anyway, any questions before we go to the next activity? Any questions regarding business report writing that I explained to you right now?
No, madam.
Hmm? All good. So then once I create once I create the groups, you have to make sure that you come up with a good proposal, not a proposal, actually a report, right? Okay, let me see.
Madam, are
Yeah,
you going to create groups?
yes, I will. I will create the groups and I will let you know next week, right? Because the thing is, and the other thing that I want to tell is that students, please, now anyway, I thought of creating the groups next week because everybody will be present. I mean, the students who are attending the classes on physically will be present next week because they have to do the assignment. So then it's easy for me to create the groups because most of you will be present, right? So we'll see how we can do the grouping. Just give me a minute. Uh, okay, just check and let me know whether we will do only this one. We don't have much time. Because we have time, we'll do this one. Have we done this listening activity? You have only 4 blanks to fill. Have we done this?
No, madam.
No? Then can you please, no need to write moor fields, department stores and all that. That is not really necessary. Okay. I just want you to write uh, customer, Crawford's, item number 9, model number 10, extras number 11, notes also interested in a 12. That's all. Please quickly write that down and then I will play the audio. We'll do this listening activity and then wind up the session for today. So this is an inquiry form. Okay. I will show you the instructions as well. First, copy this down. Only number 9, 10, 11, and 12, that part. That's all I want you to copy down. All right. I hope you might have finished writing. Let me share the audio track with you. I'll play twice, and within the 2 times, you have to fill the blanks. Okay.
Conversation 3, questions 9 to 12. Look at the form. You will hear a man inquiring about computer workstations.
Workstations department.
Hello, I'm calling from Crawford's, the accountants. We're looking for something to stand a computer on.
Right. Are you interested in a PC table, which is designed to hold a computer, monitor and keyboard, and still give plenty of working space, or a more compact terminal table without the working space?
Oh, the smaller one will do. It's for a computer that we don't use much.
Okay. Well, we have 2 versions. There's height adjustable and standard.
The first, I think, as different people will be using it.
And are you interested in a mouse shelf or side extensions, both of which come extra?
I don't think so. Oh, perhaps a mouse shelf. Will it fit on either side of the keyboard?
Yes.
Is there anywhere to put a printer?
Well, there's nothing integral. but you can buy a printer stand which is separate and fits underneath the table.
Okay, I'll probably do that. I'll come in and have a look at the equipment.
Fine. We're open until...
Okay. Second time saying.
Conversation 3, questions 9 to 12. Look at the form. You will hear a man inquiring about computer workstations.
Workstations department.
Hello, I'm calling from Crawford's, the accountants. We're looking for something to stand a computer on.
Right. Are you interested in a PC table, which is designed to hold a computer, monitor and keyboard and still give plenty of working space, or a more compact terminal table without the working space?
Oh, the smaller one will do. It's for a computer that we don't use much.
Okay. Well, we have two versions. There's height adjustable and standard.
The first, I think, as different people will be using it.
And are you interested in a mouse shelf or side extensions, both of which come extra?
I don't think so. Oh, perhaps a mouse shelf. Will it fit on either side of the keyboard?
Yes.
Is there anywhere to put a printer?
Well, there's nothing integral, but you can buy a printer stand which is separate and fits underneath the table.
Okay, I'll probably do that. I'll come in and have a look at the equipment.
Fine. We're open until...
Right, okay. Let's look at the answers of this one. So, I don't know if it's clear for you, but so here there are some other answers as well, but you have to refer to number 9, 10, 11, and 12. Number 9 is terminal table. Okay, terminal table. Number 10, height adjustable. Height adjustable. Number 11, mouse shelf. Mouse shelf. Number 12, printer stand. Printer stand. So terminal table, height adjustable, mouse shelf, and printer stand. They are the answers for these blanks. Okay. So any questions before I wind up the session for today, students? Any questions, especially for my students who are joining, who are permanently joining online? Because anyway, other students, they get to talk to me, you know. Do you have any issues? Are you clear about the instructions regarding the uh, test that we are going to have next week? If possible, I will update you on the instructions in the LMS so that it is clear to you. So what you have to do is you will have to join online and you have to make sure that you switch on your camera, right? Otherwise, you can, I know, right? But things can happen like that. But then again, at least your presentation should be visible to me. Okay. So make sure that you are in an environment which is undisturbed, and then it's going to be only for 2 minutes, maximum 2.5 minutes of a presentation. So that's what we are going to do next week, and hopefully we will get a physical session next week, right? Okay, everybody. So thank you so much for joining today, and I believe the things we did were insightful and you gained something from the sessions. Until we see next week, I wish you for a very good week, upcoming week, and stay safe until we meet again. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Madam Shanisi.
Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, yes, dear.
Ma'am,
මෑම් නෙක්ස්ට් වීක් මට මේ මේ මොකක්ද කෝවිල් එකට යන්න තියෙනවා මෑම් එතකොට මට ඕල්ටර්නේටිව් එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන් මෑම් ඒක
ඔල්ටර්නේටිව් එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක ගන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි එතකොට මොකද ගෲපින් එකට වෙන්නේ?
ගෲප් එකට මට ඒක තමයි මිස්ට පොඩ්ඩක් කතා කරලා බලන්න.
අපි එහෙනම් මෙහෙම කරමු. මම ආව කොහොමද ගෲප් එකකට දාන්නම්. right? මට චුට්ටක්ව කාට හරි කියන්න දැන් අපේ එක්කෝ ශෙහාන්ට හරි කවුරු හරි අපේ ස්ටුඩන්ට් කෙනෙක්ට මේ අපේ හස්බන්ඩ්ට හරි කාට හරි කියන්න මොකද මට බැරි වෙලා හරි අමතක වුණොත් එතකොට ඔයාව මිස් වෙනවානේ right ඔයා පොඩ්ඩක් කියලා තියන්න ඔයාව රිමයින්ඩ් කරන්න කියලා එතකොට මම ඔයාව ගෲප් එකකට දාන්නම් මම ඔයාලට ඔල්ටර්නේටිව් අසයින්මන්ට් එකක් දෙන්නම් ඒක no issue හැබැයි ඔයා මේ පොඩ්ඩක් මට මතක් කරන්න ඕනේ grouping වලදී ඔයාව group එකකට දාන්න. එතකොට what you can do is you can contact your colleagues and then you can decide what you are going to do and you can contribute in the presentation later. Right?
Okay ma'am. Thank you ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am එතකොට marks එක allocate එද්දී alternate කරනවා කියන්නේ marks අඩු වෙනවද ma'am එහෙම?
නෑ එහෙම අඩු වෙන්නේ නෑ. මම alternate එකක් හැමෝටම කොහොමද දෙනවා ලේට් ඒවට තමයි මාක්ස් අඩු වෙන්නේ ඔයාගේ ලේට් නෙමෙයි මම ඔයාලට ඔල්ටර්නේටිව් එකක් තමයි දෙන්නේ right so I normally give two chances like if they miss and excuse and do that it's not a problem but then if they do the assignments after then මගේ sessions 10 ඉවර වෙලා ඒගොල්ලෝ මගේ නොදැනුවත් කියන්නේ මාව දැනුවත් කරන්නේ නැතුව ඊට පස්සේ assignment කරලා නැතුව complete කරන්න නැතුව ඒගොල්ලන්ට assignments මම assign කරොත් තමයි then it's going to be a late submission otherwise it's not right
okay
don't
ma'am
worry
okay
about
ma'am. Okay ma'am thank you ma'am
okay bye